How does checks and balances work in a parliamentary system? Have you ever wondered how power is kept in check within a government? The concept of checks and balances is essential in understanding how a parliamentary system functions. In European history, this idea emerged as a response to absolute monarchies, where unchecked power often led to abuses. Enlightenment philosophy played a significant role in shaping these concepts, advocating for reason and the limitation of authority. In a parliamentary system, checks and balances operate differently than in presidential systems. The parliamentary system is prevalent in many European countries and is based on the principle of parliamentary sovereignty. Here, the executive branch, typically led by a prime minister and cabinet, is drawn from the legislature, known as parliament. This means that the executive is directly accountable to the legislature. The relationship between the executive and legislative branches is at the heart of the parliamentary system. The executive is formed by the party or coalition that holds the majority in parliament. This setup ensures that the executive is responsible to the legislature, which can remove it through a vote of no confidence. This mechanism serves as a vital check on executive power. One of the main checks is the ability of Parliament to hold the government accountable. Members of Parliament can question ministers, debate policies, and scrutinize government actions. If the government loses the confidence of Parliament, it must either resign or call for new elections. This process ensures that the government cannot act without oversight. The role of the opposition is another important check. In a well-functioning parliamentary democracy, opposition parties monitor the government, propose alternative policies, and challenge decisions. This dynamic ensures that the government remains under scrutiny. Judicial independence is also a critical component of checks and balances. Courts have the authority to review laws and government actions to ensure they comply with the Constitution and legal standards. This power prevents the executive or legislature from overstepping their bounds. Historically, the development of checks and balances in Europe has been shaped by struggles against absolute rule. For example, the English Parliament gradually gained power over the monarchy, leading to a constitutional monarchy and greater parliamentary control. The French Revolution also aimed to limit monarchical power, although its outcomes were more tumultuous. Modern European parliamentary systems, such as those in the United Kingdom, Germany, and Sweden, have refined these mechanisms. The European Union also employs checks and balances among its institutions, like the European Parliament, the Council, and the Commission, each with distinct roles. Enlightenment thinkers, such as Montesquieu, argued for the separation of powers to safeguard liberty. While parliamentary systems do not separate the executive and legislative branches as strictly as presidential systems, they still utilize checks and balances to limit power. The emphasis on reason, accountability, and the rule of law in Enlightenment thought is reflected in how parliamentary democracies operate today. In summary, checks and balances in a parliamentary system ensure that power is not concentrated in one part of government. Through mechanisms like the vote of no confidence, parliamentary scrutiny, and judicial review, European parliamentary systems maintain accountability and prevent abuses of power. These ideas have deep roots in European history and Enlightenment philosophy, shaping the way modern democracies function.